Welcome to M&A Unpacked, the weekly show where we bring on experts in MSP M&A, case studies from those who have gone through or are going through the process, and top M&A and business minds to help you maximize the value of your MSP, whether you're buying, selling, or just trying to improve your business. Make sure to subscribe to the Kaseya YouTube channel so that you know when new episodes drop, and you can even save the M&A Unpacked playlist for easy access. And today I'm joined by Chris Miller, who is the VP of Sales and Marketing at ATB Technologies. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you having me.
So, Chris, let's start with your background. You mentioned that you originally competed against the MSP you now help lead, which is interesting. So, you joined the team in 2018. Curious what led you to that and what were the key factors in scaling the business from 2 million to nearly 8 million in just a couple of years.
Yeah. So, Mike, I take a step back even from that. I have not always been in the tech space, right? I started my career outside of technology, found myself with an MSP in '08, and kind of dabbled in that arena for a while, went back into more of the technology staffing arena for a period of time. And then in 18, found myself here. And so it was on a whim. It was a customer I took care of back a long time ago. He happened to be really good friends with the leadership here at ATB. And he reached out in 2017, said, would you consider, I was in Chicago at the time, so would you consider coming back to St. Louis? And I said, well, I'm going to have to convince my wife and kids to make that move. And we talked. I wasn't sure if I was the right fit for it, but I knew what we were trying to do. And we eventually, in early 2018, said, hey, let's try this out. And March, I came on board. I was virtual. And then in June of 2018, I officially made the move here to St. Louis, or back to St. Louis, I should say. From a twice transplant to this region.
Yeah, and you guys, 2 million to nearly 8 million in just a few years. Like, how'd you guys do that?
A lot of patience. There was a lot of change. I think if you asked a lot of our team, there was probably frustration with me whenever I came in of, oh, you're trying to change things that we were doing. But we really needed to get some things aligned. We had a great product. We had a great service. Our customers loved us. It was a great customer base. But we really had to start thinking about sales and how sales impacted what we wanted to do. And so we got really tight on kind of who our target market was, who we wanted to be going after. And we focused on being heavily engaged in the community. Anyone who knows St. Louis knows that this region is very philanthropic. It's one of the most philanthropic cities in the country. There's this very distinct connection between for-profit and nonprofit. And so engaging in the area that I love, which is nonprofit, really drove a lot of our success.
Interesting. And you're talking about the impact of a strong sales strategy on MSP growth. What were some key sales initiatives or changes that helped accelerate your business expansion? And obviously, how do you recommend others apply that to their MSP?
Yeah, so we had to take a look at who we were serving, right? And then how do we multiply that, right? How do we find others like our best clients, and how do we find the ones, how do we make sure we don't go after the ones that are like some of the worst clients, right? And so you have to shed some that really drag down the team, and we had to add ones that were the core of what we did. Because the ones that you shed, you're probably not, they're probably not happy either, right? They're not necessarily the right fit for what you're doing, and they feel that. And so we got really focused on who our ideal client profile was. Really focused on that's what we're going after. Those are the new clients that we want to bring on board. And if we could only add 100 clients as an organization, how do we hit the size we want to be with just those 100? A lot of my competition that even in this market and outside this market that are our size, they have 4 to 5 times the number of clients that we have. And it's because we got hyper focused on who we should be serving.
The way to do it. Smart. When we spoke last time, for our pre-show, you shared a pretty incredible story that you lost your largest client, which made up 50% of your revenue, and how you managed to replace that revenue without making any cuts. I'd love to hear how that all went down. What are the big takeaways from that experience, and how has it shaped the way you guys approach business today?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I started in March of 2018. I was virtual Chicago with my family. Early June, we were planning the move here. A week before the move, we actually got the call, and we had looked at this saying, "Hey, no client should be at that level of a percentage of revenue." But we had one client that was 50%, a little over, and they called and said, "We're done." We didn't really have a long-term contract in place with them. It was just, kind of as they needed stuff, but they were consistently using us, and they said, "At the end of the month, we're leaving." So this is a week. I've got my stuff packed up. I've got a truck coming, and we took the weekend and really looked at what impact that had on revenue, what that meant for our staff, what it meant for everything that we did as a business. Luckily, our managing partner, we had a long conversation, and this is to his credit. He stood up and said, "We can look at cutting things, but we're not cutting people." And I looked at it and said, "We can make this money up. It's going to take us, a year to earn back that revenue, but we can do it." And he said, "Okay, well, I'll float the company for that year. Let's see what we can do." And we made the money back, right? We were able to bring on new clients, ones that fit what we were trying to do. We probably grew a little bit more that year than we originally set up and planned to do in year one. Um, and we continued to stay in contact with that client that left. And about 15 months after they left, they actually came back on board. So that continued to drive our growth. What it showed to us is we were doing a good job. I think there was a lot of concern from the tech team, like, "Oh, what did I do wrong that we lost this client that we've been with for a long time?" And when they came back, it really rebuilt that confidence. But it even more so built trust in the leadership of our org, because the trust was, "Hey, we lost that revenue. We didn't cut people. We didn't let them go." And so now we had a team that truly felt like ownership was 100% on their side. And we fought for them, and it was painful. I would not want to go through it again. And so we made a concerted effort after that to make sure that we never had a client anywhere near that, and ideally no client over 10% of revenue.
Wow. And now you guys, so you're at 8 million in revenue. Now you guys are looking at M&A as the next phase of growth. So
Correct.
let's talk about that. What's your acquisition strategy, and what are you looking for in potential MSPs to bring into the fold?
Yeah, so I feel, and our team feels, we've put together a good company, a good product. We've got great clients. Organic is a phenomenal way to grow, and I think we've proven that we can do that. But as we look at kind of where we want to go, it's going to take more than just organic, right? It will take new market. It will take some type of acquisition. And I think as we look at new market, acquisition is definitely a key strategy to give us a foothold, as opposed to just blindly going in and organically growing it. So in those areas, we're looking. There's a few states that are shortlisted on the radar based on current clients having some type of operation there, or remote staff that we may have in those markets. And so somewhere in that million to 5 million mark of a MSP that has a foothold, that has good relationships in the market. Again, that's a very broad number, I know, but the right organization that's growing could be underneath that. But even more important, I think, than that number for us is knowing that they have a good reputation in that market. They can help be our foothold into a new market with a handful or multiple clients that love and sing their praises, that can help make sure that we continue our strong approach to customer service.
So you're currently using some Kaseya products. Curious what you're currently using.
Yeah, so we've been longtime Autotask, an Autotask partner, right? That was the kind of the original on our side. When I came in 18, we took a look at the RMM side, and we made a move over to Datto RMM. Again, another great product. We made some moves with Datto, BUDR, SaaS Protect, and I think the industry, right? The standard is IT Glue, right? So there's a lot of these products that we've adopted, right? So we continue to look at what they have to offer. I think Kaseya is putting together amazing products, and there's times that I think about it. If I were starting an MSP today, there's some amazing tools that would be very easy to pop into our stack. But sometimes with a mature business, 23 years, we're at the point that it takes some time and enabling to get different products into our overall stack.
And for MSPs out there listening right now or watching right now who might be thinking about selling, what types of businesses would be the best fit for your acquisition strategy in terms of size, structure, service model, location? Who should reach out to you guys?
Yeah, so the three market states per se that we're heavily looking at are Texas, Florida, and Arizona, and more specifically maybe Houston, Phoenix, Jacksonville, Tampa, northern Florida. Like I said, revenue is a piece that we look at, like how can we get that operation going? A recurring revenue model, right? We want MSPs that are really focused on being a managed services provider, just like we are. The main verticals that we tend to focus on are nonprofit, manufacturing, engineering, and financial. And so someone who, not every client has to live in that arena. Not every one of our clients live within that. But they should have, a focus, or their team should have an understanding of what it means to manage those types of customers. They don't have to be. I get it. MSPs, I don't know, they suck at sales, right? MSPs really have that challenge, and so I'm less worried that they've got a sales engine going. We can help bring that to it. We want someone, again, who has a strong reputation, and that maybe they've bottomed out as far as sales, and it's a technologist and owner led, and they're trying to figure out how do we take it beyond this. Like that's where we want to be able to bring in a partner, an organization that can come in to our fold, be part of it. Maybe they went out of the day to day. We can continue to help grow the reputation of the organization within those markets.
Do you have a revenue or EBITDA size that you're looking for?
Like I said, $1 million to $5 million in revenue would be, ideal. Obviously, you could take EBITDA down from there to say, that 10-15%. I think someone that's sitting in the 20% EBITDA probably has other ideas in their mind, but we'll see.
Great. And how can people get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, atb-tech.com. That's atb-tech.com. Or they can reach out to me at chris.miller@atb-tech.com. It's CHRISMILLER. Probably one of the most common names out there. So
awesome. I will put that in the show notes on YouTube as well. And thank you, Chris, for being here. Can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy day to share with the MSP community. And for everyone watching, we thank you, and tune in again on the Kaseya YouTube channel for another episode of M&A Unpacked. And if you're not yet a member of the M&A Concierge platform for MSPs, make sure to apply today. It's an amazing platform and 100% free for both buyers and sellers. See you next time, everyone.